So in this video we're going to take Taste of Merlin through my trailer loading program and the process I take to get a horse to the point I call finding the trailer. This is where they'll load themselves on their own and they need little to no help from the handler. So here we are beginning the session. Now I haven't done any loading work with him since he's been here, and this is the first time that he's seen this horse box, but what I have done is a lot of groundwork with him. So I have an ability to move his feet from left to right, forwards and backwards, and I've spent quite a bit of time going around my obstacle course. So all the preparation is in place to make sure that we're able to bridge from the groundwork exercise and the obstacles we've done to the loading. Now the first stage I go through is leading them into the truck. This is where I will literally get them to follow me in. As long as they are sort of finding their way in, you'll see me here doing very little at all. All I'm doing is just keep wandering into the truck. As long as he's looking into the truck and thinking about loading and edging his way forwards, you won't see me do very much at all. If I need to do anything, I'll just put a little bit of pressure on his halter and I'll reach back with my flag there and ask him to step forwards. So here again, just reaching with my flag, just asking him just to come off the pressure there, get his hind feet on, and allowing him just to wander up and into the horse box, and then teaching him there just to how to get turned around. Now the key to get the horse to a point where he will find the truck or the horse trailer is that this is the place where he gets to stand still, be comfortable and feel good. We've already again addressed this a little bit with the obstacles and making sure that when he's doing the obstacles, or at least trying to do the obstacles, he feels good and he feels comfortable. So he already has some experience of this. So when he's in this truck, this is where I'm going to let him just stand, where I might rub him or scratch him or just allow him to be comfortable. The reasons that horses don't want to get into horse boxes can also be the reasons they do want to get into horse boxes. It's all about association. If he associates the loading process with being uncomfortable, then he's not going to want to load. But if he associates the loading process with being comfortable, then he is going to want to load. And that's the point there where I give him a rest. You'll also notice that when we come out of the horse box, whilst I'm not doing a lot with him, his feet don't really stop moving for any real length of time. The horse box is literally the only place he really gets to stand, be comfortable and catch his air. I want this to be a positive experience for him. How far I get isn't important, as long as he's trying and he feels good about it afterwards. We're still just there on this leading stage, but he started to kind of come in a lot more freely that time, and it was improved on the first time that we showed it to him. Again here, allowing him to stand and just be comfortable and feel good about what he's done and what he's accomplishing. Creating those positive associations with the things that we do want him to do. So now he's following us in. The second step to getting him to find the horse box is driving him in. And here all I'm doing is I'm going to progressively drive him from further away from the horse box. Initially there stood at the top of the ramp, but I'm going to work my way down the ramp, and each time I load him, asking him to do a little bit more work and for me to do a little bit less work. It's important that with everything we do, we're progressive. Once they've got the first part of it, then we can move on to the second part. That's not to say that we will never go back, But if they're okay with something and they're giving us a green light, it's important that we progress and move on. I think sometimes we can get into as much trouble going too slow as going too fast. We need to make sure that the horse understands that he just needs to keep trying, and what might be a try on day one is not going to be a try on day two. He needs to keep offering a little bit more, and also we need to keep offering a little bit more to him. Keep helping him bridge from one exercise to the other, refining it, making it more complicated, and moving forwards. So again here, I'm not allowing him too much time before I just allow him to come off, move his feet around, and then drive him back into the horse box again. Once again, I'm trying to create that positive association with the horse box, that association being one of comfort. And that when he feels like when he comes out, that's when he does some work. I'm not actively trying to make him feel uncomfortable when he comes out. I'm just doing enough just to keep his feet moving, so he's actively then seeking that horse box and starting to look to get back in. That's going to help me as we move on, getting him to, as we spoke about at the start, find the horse box. So now he's driving in nicely and fulfilling that step two. So where he's, I'm not really having to do too much, but he's driving in. I've just swapped over now to a lariat rope, 60-foot lariat rope, and I'm going to start working on getting him to find his way into the horse box. Giving that extra length of rope just means that I can get further away, and then when he's wrong, I could correct him. But I'm going to try not to go with him too much. I'm going to try and direct him in the general direction of the horse box, and then use that rope to correct him when he starts to go in the wrong direction or think about not loading onto the horse box. We just keep following the same pattern that we followed with the driving and with the leading, that as soon as he's coming off the horse box here, we're going to work in on him again. But we're doing less and less and less. There he's looking to go around, so you see I just correct him with my rope. There he's a little confused about where he's supposed to go, so again, just correcting him with my rope, letting him wander around, letting him work at not loading onto this horse box so that he starts to think about finding it. They're just reassuring him a bit that he's getting a little confused, and now he's gone, I see, I remember now. Go back to getting back on that horse box, getting turned around and standing up there and waiting. So we're starting to make it a little bit more difficult. We're moving round to the side of the horse box and asking him to find his way from the side. This is obviously that little bit more difficult because he now can't see me, and I'm asking him to go around and sort of stay honest and complete the task, even though I'm out of sight and he's further away from me in terms of that length of line. again, goes back to what we were talking about, getting him to really find the horse box and not rely on me so much. And a lot of this isn't really about loading per se. I mean, it's useful to have a horse that loads that well. But for me and my relationship with this horse, it's about sort of making him responsible for performing a task, that I'm not having to micromanage him or constantly be having to tell him what to do. That he goes, if he understands what's required of him, he just gets on and does it. And I want to try and take this principle that we're sort of building with the loading, getting them to a point where they will find the horse box, and build on that to where it will carry through into the ridden and into other elements of our relationship. We're now beginning to try and further refine what we're doing. We're now going to see if we can load him from halfway along the horse box, sat in the living area, and just trying to make it a little bit more complicated, getting a little bit cleverer, and just seeing what we can and can't work out. Here again, he's sort of getting a little confused as to what I want, but he's starting to head in the right direction. Now he's sort of missed the horse box, and I'm just going to have to help him out a little bit here. And again, I'm not going to punish him for getting it wrong. I just make sure I keep those feet moving, keep that pressure on that rope to just enough to keep him motivated. Making sure that he hasn't really found that comfort that he's looking for. And then when he finds it and gets in the horse box, he finds that comfort, he finds what he's looking for, he feels good, and he starts to want to repeat that process more consistently. So we just repeat the process until he starts to understand what's required, and this time he does find it a lot easier than he did the last time. I sort of got off my seat there just to help him make sure that we kind of start to get this a little bit more correct. And then that's obviously going to help with a little bit of repetition, building and moving forwards, allowing this horse to find that horse box and get to a point where we'll be able to load him from the cab of the truck at liberty. I think one of the hardest things as a horse trainer is to know when to quit. Really pleased with how much this horse has got figured out today, with his loading, and tomorrow is another day and we can start to build on this further.